I didn't know humiliation could feel so quiet. It was a Tuesday afternoon when my phone buzzed on the kitchen counter, right next to a mug of coffee that had already gone cold. I was halfway through folding a load of towels, the kind with the frayed edges you keep because they still do the job. The light coming through the window was soft, late summer yellow, dust floating in it like tiny secrets. I remember thinking how peaceful it felt. That's how life tricks you sometimes. It waits until you're calm before it knocks the breath out of you. The notification was from Instagram. I don't post much. I mostly follow my nieces, a few old friends, cooking pages I never actually cook from. The name at the top of the screen made my fingers pause mid-fold. My niece, Brianna. I smiled before I even opened it. She was always posting something: brunch plates, mirror selfies, little quotes about knowing your worth. I tapped without thinking. The smile didn't last. It was a picture of her in a fitting room, wrapped in a silk dress the color of red wine. The mirror caught her from an angle that made everything look effortless. Below it, in white cursive text, were the words, "When your poor aunt can't afford designer, so you have to do it yourself." There was a laughing emoji at the end. Just one. Like a wink. I read it again. Then again, slower this time, like maybe the words would rearrange themselves if I stared long enough. Poor aunt. I sat down hard in the chair by the counter, the wood creaking under me. My coffee smelled bitter now, burned. My hands were still holding a towel I hadn't folded, just bunched up like I'd lost the instructions halfway through. At first, I thought maybe it wasn't about me. Maybe she meant some joke, some trend I didn't understand. But the comments told the truth quickly enough. LOL's savage, loudly crying face. Not the poor aunt skull. Must be nice to have family like that. And then one from her friend, a girl I'd met once at Christmas. Guess we know who's not getting invited to the wedding dress shopping, face with tears of joy.
Wedding.
That word landed heavier than the rest. I locked my phone and stared at the wall. There was a small crack near the corner, one I'd been meaning to patch for months. I could see it clearly now, every jagged edge. Funny how pain sharpens your vision. I had helped raise Brianna. That wasn't a figure of speech. That was real life. Her mother, my sister, Angela, had been gone more than she'd been present when Brianna was growing up. Some days it was work, some days it was men, some days it was whatever storm she was chasing inside herself. Brianna spent more afternoons at my house than her own. She knew where I kept the cereal, which cabinet held the glasses, which floorboards squeaked near the hallway. I was the one who braided her hair before school when Angela didn't come home the night before. I was the one who sat through dance recitals on folding chairs, clapping until my palms stung. When Brianna cried over her first heartbreak, she cried into my shoulder, mascara streaking my blouse. I wasn't rich. I never pretended to be. I worked as a financial compliance analyst, quiet job, steady job. I paid my bills on time. I bought quality when it mattered and saved where it didn't. I didn't wear logos because I never needed strangers to know my worth. But poor? That word echoed in my head like a dropped plate that never quite finished shattering. I didn't comment. I didn't message her. I just sat there listening to the hum of the refrigerator, the ticking clock above the stove. The house felt different suddenly, like it was watching me. That night, I barely slept. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw that sentence again. Your poor aunt. It wasn't just embarrassment. It was betrayal, thin and sharp.
Public. Casual.
Served up for laughs. By morning, I told myself to let it go. Young people post stupid things. Maybe she didn't think. Maybe she didn't realize how it would land. I made my bed, with careful corners. I showered. I dressed for work. Navy slacks, cream blouse. The same quiet armor I'd worn for years. At the office, my coworker Janet asked if I was okay. I said I was tired. That was easier than explaining how someone you helped raise can turn you into a punchline without blinking. Around noon, my sister called. Did you see Brianna's post? Angela asked, her voice already defensive, like she knew the answer. Yes, I said. Just that. Well, you know how she is, Angela continued. She's joking. Don't take it so personally. I looked out the office window at the parking lot below. The cars lined up neatly, all in their places. Order made sense. People didn't. She called me poor, I said quietly. Angela sighed. It's social media. Everyone exaggerates. I didn't argue. There are moments when you realize explaining yourself would only cheapen the hurt. I ended the call politely, professionally, the same way I ended most difficult conversations in my life. That evening when I got home, I checked Instagram again. The story was gone. 24 hours passed. Erased. Like it never existed. But something had shifted. A few days later, an envelope arrived in the mail. Cream-colored. Thick paper. My name written in Brianna's looping handwriting. Inside was a wedding invitation. Gold foil. Heavy cardstock. Elegant. I traced the letters with my finger, slow and deliberate. There was no mention of dress shopping. No personal note. Just the formal details, crisp and distant. I set it on the table and sat back. That was when the first real suspicion crept in, not about the insult, but about the ease of it. The confidence. The way she'd said it like she knew something about me the rest of the world didn't. And for the first time, I wondered what Brianna thought she knew about my life. I didn't realize then that her certainty was built on a lie, one she hadn't even bothered to check. Or that, not long after, a single financial statement would unravel everything she thought she understood about me. I folded the invitation and placed it carefully in a drawer. Some truths don't rush. They wait. And I was just beginning to feel the weight of what was waiting with them.